to separate the men from the boys, motherfucker. Let's go. Niggas best verse can't allow my intro. Word your blood, daddy. This time is for taking. Time steady ticking, food supply getting lower, and these diapers getting expensive.
What up? It's your boy E with Boxing Profits, bringing that toe-to-toe value that's undisputed in this industry. Hey, this is not gonna be a long one, you dig? But I gotta get straight to it because I got a lot to take care of today, man. Got a lot of business going on, man. I got a lot of good content coming you guys' way, man. I appreciate y'all sharing these videos. I appreciate y'all with the dialogue and the different things y'all have been emailing me and bringing to my attention. Man, I really, really appreciate a lot of you guys, man. Please, 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 go ahead and hit that subscribe button, man. Got a lot of great content coming for y'all, man. A lot of valuable information, a lot of good stuff, okay? But let's dissect what this bitch Mauricio Sulaiman is talking about when it comes to the center bump Canelo Alvarez, okay? It's not going to be a long one, okay? So, of course, you know I decipher this bullshit when he said he's going to look into the process about what happened with Yildirim and yada, yada, yada. So he's saying that, you know, he feels sorry for him and that the paper doesn't reflect the actions and it's very unfortunate and they had great expectations and blah, 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 and that they need to look into the process of what's going on, okay? First of all, okay, whatever this dude name is, Yildirim, okay? This bitch was coming off of a loss, okay? He got whacked by Chris Eubank over 10 years ago, okay? All right? So we already know who Alvin Yildirim is, all right? He's a bum. Y'all know that, right? But y'all allowed this fool to still be the #1 challenger for the WBC. How? How is that possible, right? He's been #1 for like the past, 2-3 years now? And he's coming off of a failed PED drug test. What are you talking about, Mauricio Sulaiman? Right? See, it irritates me, son, that this sport and this game is so corrupt. But see, they laughing at us, bruh. They laughing at us, right? For Mauricio Sulaiman to come out and say he needs to look into this process and all this bullshit, man, whatever, bruh. Damage control is so far gone right now, man. Y'all been hit by a goddamn ATOMBOMB, okay? Like, it's over with for y'all, bro. It's over. It's because the bullshit that y'all putting in the plate with Canelo Alvarez and Alvin Yildirim, it's a whole bunch of nonsense, right? And you know, as a matter of fact, bro, look at this. Look at what this fool's talking about, man. All right? Look at what this fool's saying, okay? This fool is now blaming the pandemic as the reason why. Y'all see it right here. WBC president, you know, the situation was created by the pandemic. Let me stop him right there, okay? So it's a bunch of nonsense and a bunch of bullshit that's going on with this. Because if y'all remember correctly, okay, when the pandemic first hit, Canelo Alvarez was in his was in his little limbo phase, right? Where he was trying to figure out what he was going to do. And if y'all remember correctly, he was trying to fight John the Gorilla Ryder and Jason Quigley. Am I making this up? Am I just pulling this out of my fucking ass? Okay? He was trying to fight 2 other bums. And the zone said, nah, we ain't having that bullshit, okay? You either gonna fight GGG, you gonna fight one of these premium opponents that we paying you and Golden Boy damn near $100 million a year. Don't play with me. Don't I know y'all automatically gonna get in your feelings. It was $35 million per fight for Alvarez times 2, okay? Times 2 per year, that's $70 million. They give Golden Boy $17 million a year through contractual agreements and whatnot, plus the $10 million for Canelo Alvarez's opponent. You rounding out, that's $100 million. So don't play with me, okay? They put all this money on the table for this bum, this bitch, right? Which they learned from their mistakes, but you know, they didn't give him that $365 million because they know that they made a terrible mistake, that he was not worth it. And eventually they're going to come to their senses and see that Gennady Golovkin wasn't worth any kind of stock in that company and $100 million that they put on the table for him as well, okay? Anyway, man, moving right along from that bullshit, okay? So now they're blaming the pandemic, which has affected so many different people's lives, man, on a real level. These fools out here making millions and millions and millions of dollars off of corrupt tactics, okay? Now they're trying to use the pandemic as a reason why they put Alvin Yildirim in front of Canelo Alvarez just to go in there and knock the fuck out, okay? When David Benavidez was holding on to that super middleweight title for all those years, yeah, he lost it on the scale, okay? It's all David Benavidez's responsibility to take care of himself regardless of circumstances. He blamed the pandemic as well. We're going to call a spade a spade. But at the end of the day, bro, these are professional athletes that's paid to give us the fights we want to see. We've got billions of quotes from Canelo Alvarez say he wants to fight the best and he wants to unify all the titles and he's going after Undisputed. Yeah, namely enough, he's gone for Undisputed in the weakest division in boxing. I don't want to hear that bullshit about no goddamn Callum Smith being a fucking undefeated champion when John the Gorilla Ryder actually defeated him in the fight before he strapped up with Canelo Alvarez, okay? And then on top of that, Callum Smith ain't have no more than 8 weeks to prepare for Canelo Alvarez. So who y'all fooling? Y'all setting it up for this bitch, right? We already deciphered why y'all doing this shit. But for y'all to throw the pandemic in our face, bro, for y'all to use the pandemic, man, y'all, what they doing, fellas, is, man, they laughing at us. That's what they doing, but it's nothing but a big game to them, right? So this fool is saying that the mandatory challenger rule is one that has worked through the years to bring justice to the sport and for mandatory challengers to have a title shot. Let me stop that bitch right there. Okay? Here we go. Jermall, the future of boxing, a.k.a. Iron Man Charlo. As you can see how they trying to play Jermall Charlo here. They don't even put this man's picture up, right? It's sad, bro. They don't even put this man's picture up here, right? And well, at least they don't have a mug shot of this man up there. You know how these racist websites get down, right? They'll put a nigga mug shot up there quick. Well, anyway, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Let's go down here, okay? Let's go down here. Where we at? Just give me a second. Right here. Okay? June the 5th, 2017. Reports circulated around Argentina that WBC mandatory challenger Jorge Holland, right, will be ordered to fight Charlo in a final eliminator. Keywords, okay? Holland had been the mandatory since 2015, right? So what happened? Charlo went in there, knocked that bitch the fuck out, right? You know what I'm saying? Knocked him out, right? The dude got injured or whatever the case was, but, you know, it's marked down as a TKO victory, okay? So on June 9th, the WBC officially ordered the fight between the two, with the winner becoming the mandatory challenger for the winner of Alvarez and Golovkin back in 2017, okay? All right? Y'all see that? Charlo became the mandatory challenger for the WBC middleweight title with a stoppage win over the injured blah, blah, blah Holland. Okay, so we already know that, right? So this man has he's been a mandatory challenger since 2017, right? Talking about, you know, the rules are governed to justify and all. Man, get the fuck out of here, Sulaiman, bro. You full of shit, okay? So here's more proof that he's full of shit, okay? So not only did they create the Cinnabon belt for this bitch to duck all the smoke. So if y'all don't know what the franchise title is, y'all need to go do your homework. It's not the video for that. But basically what it is a designation which allows Canelo Alvarez to move up and just do whatever he want to do as long as they're WBC. As long as they're ranked in the WBC, he can go and challenge them no matter who it is. And who did Canelo Alvarez pick? He picked the weakest one out of the litter, Alvin Yildirim, right? Just because. Now, if y'all are wondering where's the corruption in play in this, okay, well, clearly the corruption is when David Benavidez lost that title on the scales, they immediately put the WBC title on the scales because they knew Callum Smith was going to go in there and just allow Canelo Alvarez to beat him, okay, and they weren't going to give him no kind of challenge. So they put the WBC title on the line there when when Canelo Alvarez was actually supposed to be fighting Yildirim for that title, okay? So they corrupted it and they created a smokescreen with it, and now they're using the mandatory, you know what I'm saying, as an excuse that Canelo Alvarez fought Yildirim. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's a whole bunch of bullshit. So anyway, bro, they gave him that title basically so he can just move up and down and wait and go and challenge whoever the fuck he wants to, right? Whenever he feels like it, okay? So here it is right here. Mauricio Sulaiman told ESPN on Thursday that WBC is trying to provide an avenue to enhance boxing and to grow the industry. We are making a rule or status to bring clarity, not to confuse. What the fuck are you talking about, right? when David Benavidez was this bitch mandatory, no, excuse me, he was a WBC super middleweight champion for all those years that Canelo Alvarez ain't go up and challenge him, right? We already know the reason why that, because the bitch said that he don't fight fellow Mexicans, but then he gonna go fight the biggest bitch of them all, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Y'all allowed that shit too, right? Man, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get out of here, right? So anyway, so this bitch here it is right here. When Alvarez held the middleweight title and Charlo was the interim titleist, the WBC did not order the mandatory bout, putting it off while Alvarez was involved in preparation for the unification bout right there. Boom! There you go, with Jacobs. So they put it off and they put it on hold for this bitch to go fight Danny Jacobs, allowed him to duck, right? They allowed him to move up and just go take the WBC title from the super middleweight division because he's the franchise champion. He's allowed to do that. Then Canelo Alvarez, whole ass, he popped fucking dirty for clenbuterol heading up to his second fight with Gennady Golovkin because he knew he needed to be juiced up to his gills in order to win that fight, and y'all allowed him to do that, right? And then on top of that, Alvin Yildirim even popped dirty for drugs in his system, and y'all allowed him to fucking still be the WBC mandatory challenger. So y'all been playing this shit up. Y'all planned it up and y'all kept Yildirim there, right? Just to give Alvarez an easy out to move up into the division, because y'all knew the only way Alvarez was going to be able to move up into the center bump 168 weakest division in boxing, right? Y'all allowed him to do that was to keep Yildirim in that mandatory spot when there was no fucking need on God's green earth for him to be in that spot. I don't want to hear about that Darrell bullshit. We already know that fucking David Benavidez already knocked him off and took his title away from him, right? You see what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch of bullshit, right? That's all it is, right? Demetrius Boo Boo Andre is about to fight at 168. Why y'all didn't allow this man to be the WBC mandatory for Canelo Alvarez? Well, we already know what the situation with that is, right? So it's a whole bunch of bullshit. I said all that to say I'm proving it right here in front of y'all face, that this fool is a bunch of bullshit and he's behind this whole nonsense with this WBC bullshit, okay? It's him. He's allowing the center bump Canelo Alvarez to do this shit. Not no fucking pandemic. And it ain't no fucking nothing but them just getting rich off of Canelo Alvarez, you know what I'm saying, with that franchise title. And now he has the WBC title now. So they just trying to get a paycheck off of Alvarez, but they protecting him and allowing him to get away with this bullshit. And then they dragging us through the mud talking about they need to look into the policies and the procedures. Bitch, y'all planned this shit out years in advance. Y'all knew exactly what the fuck y'all was doing. Y'all ain't fooling nobody, Mauricio Sulaiman. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel about this in the comment section below. It's your boy, E with Boxing Profits. Sign out to the next one. Holla at your boy, 100. Whoop, out.